1,000 PreCure broadcasts. This is success, baby. Hello, everyone. It's Leo, and it's time to talk about episode 18 from Wonderful PreCure. Bring in the drama. Oh my God. I love this drama that is going on right now. There's a lot to talk about. Let's start. Yuki is now human, and Mayu is very happy to be able to talk to her. So this first scene of the episode of both of them by themselves now, which is a moment that they needed. They really, really needed this moment. So they started talking, and Mayu was very happy to be able to talk to Yuki. Yuki was also sharing the same feeling. And obviously, a little comedy there with Mayu remembering the way she snuggled and kissed Yuki. And now Yuki is human in front of her. Oh my God. I love the way she ran away. And now Yuki will learn how to chase, baby. Yuki is learning how to chase. Like, Kirami does not chase, she fights. But in this episode, she had to learn how to chase a couple of times. Oh my God. Very funny. This episode also brought us the origin of Kirami, how Kirami was born, which is something Yuki told Mayu. Lots of things to talk about that. But first, let's go over what they talked about in the Healing Garden. They were talking about Kirami, that now they know her identity, but now she does not want to be part of the PreCure team. And some of them were a little pissed, some of them were wondering what's really going on. And Satoru brought up a very interesting point. Both Iroha and Komugi are fighting to help the Garugarus. They became PreCures, and now they are fighting to save the animals. That was not really the reason why they turned into PreCures in the first place, but this is what is keeping them fighting, or chasing, or using magical powers. And then Satoru brings up a very interesting point. She uses a compact with a mirror that reflects her to transform, just like Komugi and Iroha. And there's also another thing that is very relevant. There must be a reason for her to transform into a PreCure. So it's not because she's saving we know the reason. They don't really know it, but we do. But the thing is, I feel like the show is trying to tell us, the viewers, that saving the Garugarus is important. Obviously, it's the most important thing, but also protecting the one you love is also important. And this is also a power of a PreCure. Obviously, Nyami has a lot to learn, but this is also a valid feeling for you to become a cure. This is what happened with Yuki. And then we have the killing animals. I really like them. I feel like right now, they are bringing a lot of personality, and it's funny to see them talking. The bear even mentioned how Nyami was relentless when fighting him. So it was, those details are very interesting. Later on in the episode, the Kirin Usagi appeared again to talk to Kirfriendly, and she was talking about the Kirin hamster. Those interesting details, just give them a little bit more character, a little bit more personality. I love it. But then we have Mayu coming home, very scared of her mother, very scared of things going south because of the way she was carrying Yuki. The thing is, Yuki has a very smart mind, and she won't put Mayu in trouble. So she knows that she can't talk to Sumire. But Mayu was scared because Mayu is like this. She's very anxious. So it was normal for her to feel this way. But I love when they got to the bedroom and Yuki told her, I'm with you. I'm by your side. And I'm the one who knows you the best. I know everything about you. That might sound a little scary, but in the PreCure context, I don't know. It doesn't really, for me at least. And then Yuki shares that she became Kirami once a Garugaru appeared, and she tried to protect the house. And then at that moment, while she was trying to protect the house, the crest on her neck gave birth to her transformation device. That crest on her neck was given to her by Mayu. So their bond and the feelings that they share for each other was represented in that little object. And so she became Kirami and she fought against the Garugaru. We didn't see the fight, but we know that the Garugaru ran away. The Garugaru did not stay there anymore. And that's what she's been doing. She's been staying vigilant to protect Mayu from the Garugarus. And this is another thing that we see happening in this episode. The Garugarus are now famous. People are talking about them. People kind of know they exist. Like, they've heard Garugaru at night or at some other places. So Animal Town is going to probably know more about those Garugarus and maybe even about the cures at a certain point. The way the story is moving forward very fast, we might have the civilians knowing about the cures early on. Well, not early on because we're already in episode 18, but you get what I mean. So, and those are interesting things to point out. But Yuki is bent on the idea that Mayu cannot be with Iroha and Komugi. And during that conversation, Yuki brought up a point that I did not think about, but it made a lot of sense. Yuki was sharing that she wants Mayu not to be involved with Iroha and Komugi anymore. She knows that they spend some time together at school, but in Yuki's mind, both Komugi and Iroha bring danger to Mayu. And she says at one point in one of the dialogues, she tells Mayu that both of them bring her danger. And at the same time that they bring her danger, they laugh about it. And Mayu says, oh, it's not really like that. But Yuki has a point. If you go over what happened last week in episode 17, Mayu would have been badly hurt if Nyami wasn't there. Cure Wonderful and Cure Friendly, they did not think like, oh, if Nyami wasn't there, what would we have done? We wouldn't be able to protect her. It did not even cross their minds. Nyami is right on this one. She is right. Like, for them, obviously, they take their mission with seriousness. They take their mission with righteousness. They do. But in Mayu's case, they don't really seem to care that much. I mean, they do care. I know they do care. But they laugh it off because at the end of the day, it's fine. What are they doing to get better at chasing to protect Mayu and Satoru? Even Satoru, if we think about it, but mostly Mayu because it's the topic of the conversation. I think in this sense, Yuki was not wrong in what she was saying. But Yuki is totally wrong in another aspect, in asking Mayu to not be around Iroha and the others. We see a scene at the school that Mayu is really weird around them because she was thinking of the things that Yuki told her, and they notice. And Iroha comes in and says, look, it is totally fine. I totally understand, Yuki. But I still want to be your friend. I still want to be... I want us to have the same relationship as before. But I do understand, Yuki. I really like that. I really like that moment. And another moment I loved was when Komugi screamed good morning to the chickens. And the chickens were all scared and they were like teaching Komugi like, oh, this is not how you should act. Because Komugi does not really know how to act around certain people, certain animals. So she is slowly learning. Those little scenes, they just add to the characterization. And I love the characterization of everyone in Wonderful when it comes to the human part. Iroha, Komugi, Satoru, Mayu, and now Yuki. I love it very, very much. And then we have a Garugaru appearing. When the Garugaru appears, Yuki takes Mayu away and they get back home. And when they're home, they just stay there. It's like Yuki's plan is very smart. If the Garugaru is closed, I'll fight. If the Garugaru isn't closed, I won't. Like, it doesn't matter. And at the same time, we have Wonderful and Friendly going after the Garugaru, and we have them trying to do something, but they can't do anything about the hamster. Oh my god. And then the Garugaru ends up getting closer to where Yuki was and Mayu was. So Yuki, or Kirami, is now ready to protect Mayu. And so she leaves home and tells Mayu, do not leave. And here is where Yuki is wrong again. Look, a relationship is a two-person action. Both of them act on the relationship. Both of them have feelings on a relationship. So we're talking about a friendship relationship or a sisterly relationship here with Mayu and Yuki. Yuki loves Mayu, but Mayu also loves Yuki. If Yuki is in danger, Mayu will be worried, and she won't be able to stay at home doing nothing, waiting to see if Yuki is going to be safe at the end of the day. Obviously, that won't work for Mayu, and Mayu will leave home. But Yuki does not understand that. For Yuki, right now, their relationship relies way more on Yuki towards Mayu. But what about Mayu towards Yuki? Right now, Yuki is not letting Mayu have the other way around in the relationship, and that's horrible. And then we have a great fighting scene from Nyami. I loved it. She is smart. She is relentless. She does not stop. I loved it. And then came a scene that I really, really disliked. I was so angry when I was watching it. Look, Wonderful PreCure has incredible writing. But sometimes the only part I'm being let down is in the chase scenes with Wonderful and Friendly, because I feel like sometimes they're too inept. But today, I'm sorry, I can't. The problem I had, okay, so Kirami was ready to deal a finishing blow to the Garugaru, and Cure Wonderful and Cure Friendly arrived. They stopped Kirami, but she did not want to be stopped. They tried to stop her, but they did not even once try to heal the Garugaru first and then go after Nyami. They could have used the friend Liberare in the Garugaru and then stopped Nyami trying to talk to her and all of that. But no, they didn't. And then that scene when Cure Wonderful stepped in front of Nyami and tried to stop her, I was like, oh my God. Like, the Garugaru was lying down just like the other Garugarus that Kirami defeated. It was ready for them to heal it. And Kirami, she knows what the Garugarus are, and she knows that they're animals. It's not that she doesn't care. It's just that she is doing the maximum to protect Mayu. She even dialogues with the Garugaru before fighting it. So it's interesting to see that perspective of hers. But, I feel like Wonderful and Friendly, sometimes the writing on them as cures is not as good as the rest of the writing of the season, which is stellar. It's just stellar. Like, this episode for me this scene for me was a big letdown. And I'm not criticizing Wonderful or Friendly specifically. I'm criticizing the writing on them, which obviously ends up impacting on their characters. But I just did not like it. Oh my God. Like, the situation had to be written in a different way for it to work. Because at the end, the Garugaru escaped. It had to be written in a different way for it to work, but it didn't work for me. And then after that, we have another scene which I found great, which was Yuki trying to return home. And then we see Mayu running, looking for Yuki. And then Yuki sees Mayu. Yuki is disappointed because Yuki wanted Mayu to stay home. Mayu does not want to stay home. Mayu is going after Yuki because Mayu cares about Yuki. Yuki, wake up, girl. And then while they're talking, Yuki tells Mayu that she does not want to see her with Iroha and Komugi. And now she is prohibited from seeing them. And now Yuki crosses a line because now she is not telling Mayu what to do, but she is demanding an action from Mayu. And it's an action that Mayu does not want to take. And Mayu does not have tact. She doesn't know how to dialogue very well. She does not do well in those situations. And so what happens? She lashes onto Yuki. But she lashes saying something right. Yuki does not have power over that in Mayu. She doesn't. And then, because of the way she said it, she was so ashamed of how she treated Yuki, and then she ran away. But Mayu there is right. She just doesn't know how to share her feelings. And Yuki runs after her, and the episode ends. I love that little quarrel they had, because when Yuki finally crossed the line, Mayu reacted. And I like seeing Mayu react, because this is what we expect. Not what we expect, but we want to see from her character, because she's usually not able to act on things. And now she is being able to act on certain things. And I'm loving that about her character. Anyways, this was my view on episode 18. Next week, it is Lillian time. And it seems Mayu will be extremely needed against that Garugaru. I cannot wait to see how things will go. I cannot wait to see Lillian's transformation. It is going to be amazing for sure. I'm so excited. Anyways, what is your take on episode 18? Please leave in the comments. Let's talk about it. Anyways, babies, this is it for now. I want to take this little time to thank the members of the Magical Cinnamon channel. If you're a member here on YouTube, if you're a member on Patreon, if you support me on Throne, thank you very, very much. And if you've watched up until now, thank you so much as well. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye-bye.